Deepti Kadawan joins me on the set now for a look through the main stories today. Hi, Deepti.
Hi, Janie.
Let's start in the Czech Republic, where the Prime Minister is facing calls to resign over a family scandal.
That's right. Politico has a very good explainer of what's a very complex political situation in the Czech Republic, noting that in a rare show of unity, 6 opposition parties have filed a vote of no confidence motion against Prime Minister Andrej Babiš. Now, it comes after these revelations from Babiš's son, Andrej Babiš Jr., who was secretly filmed in Switzerland by Czech journalists, saying that he'd been taken against his will last year to Crimea by people working for his father. The Czech paper DNES says the Stork's Nest scandal is back, and I'll explain to you why in a second. Babiš Jr. said he was kidnapped so that he wouldn't testify in an EU investigation into subsidy fraud involving a hotel near Prague called the Stork's Nest, in which the Prime Minister, his father, is involved. Babiš Sr., the Prime Minister, for his part, says his son is mentally ill.
That is some true family drama there in the Czech Republic. Okay, another big story dominating the papers today. That's Donald Trump's extraordinary attacks on Emmanuel Macron's presidency, on France, and on French wine.
That's right. You don't attack French wine, do you, Jeannie? The bromance is clearly over between the two men. And the conservative news website Washington Examiner is looking at Trump's Twitter tirade, the good, the bad, and the ugly. They say the good is that tweet about Emmanuel Macron building a European army. They say it may have been undiplomatically expressed, but it does reflect a, quote, justifiable American aggravation. The bad, the tweet about how the U.S. should impose tariffs on French wine, because that would mean Americans would have to, quote, fork out more for the pursuit of happiness. The ugly moment, they admit, was the attack on Macron's approval rating. For the Examiner, Trump was personally acrimonious towards Macron when he, unlike other leaders, has only shown personal respect.
Now, during those Twitter comments, Donald Trump also said, "Make France great again," to which French Twitter users have just gone wild.
Well, French Twitter users have reacted like champions, that's what the Huffington Post says, reminding the U.S. president that France is already great. In fact, do we need to remind the world that we are world champions? One user saying, "At least we didn't lose to Trinidad and Tobago in the qualifying round of the World Cup last year." Mary Patrouk's posting this picture saying, "Everything is fine in France. We're world champions. Thank you very much."
All right, next now, the inhabitants of the Dutch village of Kinderdijk are furious over plans to develop their town for tourism.
So Kinderdijk is home to just 60 people going about their daily lives, except that 600,000 tourists flock to the town every year to visit the UNESCO-protected windmills nearby. Now, there are business plans to increase visitor numbers by creating a second dock for cruise ships and building another museum, perhaps. So locals are launching a campaign saying they're not opposed to tourism, they're just want to protect the village character from over-tourism. Just to give you an idea of some of their experiences, one woman says tourists walk into her yard. Another one says she was eating on the sidewalk and a tourist told her to get out of the way so he could photograph the windmill. One morning, another local said she found a couple of tourists eating breakfast on her garden table.
Oh, dear. Okay. All right. Other news for us today, Dipti. Today is November 14th. That's also Prince Charles's 70th birthday.
That's right. Prince Charles is turning 70 today. To celebrate the occasion, Buckingham Palace has released a family portrait of Prince Charles. Camilla here with William, Harry, Kate, Meghan, and the kids. A lovely picture making the front page of the Daily Mail. The website Insider has been publishing photos marking Prince Charles's life as a young pilot. There he is with Mother Teresa, military training, and his Time magazine cover in 1978. The man who will be king. He's not king yet.
It certainly has been waiting a long time. Okay, Deepti, just to wrap up, an Australian hardware store has sparked national outrage over changes to its weekly sausage sizzle.
All right, I'm going to give you a little a quick reminder in Australian lingo. So a sausage sizzle is basically a hot dog stand. A snag is a sausage and a sanger is a sandwich. So it's a common thing that for Aussies, when we go to, Bunnings, it's a hardware store on a Sunday, pick up some supplies. On your way out, you leave with a hot dog in hand. There's often a little stand outside the shop run by local community groups. You have your bread, the sausage, and caramelized onions on top. That's how it goes. Well, Bunnings, in a misguided attempt to reinforce security, has asked that the onions be put underneath the sausage, i.e. between the bread and the sausage.
Outrage.
Outrage. The reason, because onions falling off a hot dog can become an occupational safety hazard, i.e. people can slip and fall and possibly bring up lawsuits. This user, anyway, it sparked anger, it sparked mockery. This user sarcastically saying, "That's my greatest fear, slipping on errant onions at Bunnings on a Sunday." It's also sparked written petitions from radio hosts and even warranted a question by a journalist during a press conference with the Prime Minister about where he stands on hot dog composition.
What did he say?
He did not respond.
He did not win. No comment. Always
No
the safest
comment.
answer. Thank you, Dupti, so much for that. Dupti Calderon with that look at the main stories today. You can get a closer look, of course, at the press review on our website. That address is france24.com.